All right, Mickey. I want you to do the intro as my little scamp. What's his name?
Oh,
Gavroche.
oh gosh.
So someone
Um,
told me I've been saying Mariusz with too much sh. So my cousin, shout out cousin John. I'm gonna say
uh,
Marius. I'm gonna get rid of that
Mario,
shh.
sure.
But I realized this happened because of the audiobook I use. He says Marius, and then I said Mariusz. I don't know why, but
Hmm.
it's Gavroche, right? Am I saying that right?
Gavroche, yeah. Yeah, the CHE
All
gives us
right.
a sure.
How would Petit Gavroche introduce the pod?
Well, he would just be moseying down the street with a tune in his head, saying something like, "Nothing to be seen at night, but in daytime all is bright, and the gentlefolk turn pale at the writing on the wall. Do your duty, my fine lads. Blow away their silly hats." Um, Gavroche was going to war. But even but even those of us on the brink of conflict must take time for ourselves and have fun with life, like we do every week when we tune into, as we are now, listening to Russ reviews. It was a little
he
scattered.
he aged some during that introduction.
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking more. You're now listening to Ross reviews.
Oh, that's perfect. Use that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another episode of Russ Reviews. We are back with volume 4 of the epic podcast series on Les Misérables, Victor Hugo's seminal novel. I'm here with guest number 1, episode number 1, the Mickey, the Mickey Anthony Mangan.
Oh, yeah.
I was going
I'm
to say Mickany.
enchanté to be here.
um, yeah, I'm so excited, Mickey. We're going to be talking about volume 4.
Mm.
Yeah, if please consider subscribing if you like what you hear on Spotify, Apple, X, Twitter. Mickey, I have some big news.
Hit me.
I published my first reel. Well,
Tell
it
me
wasn't
what
a
that means.
reel. It was a YouTube short. I
Oh,
did a
YouTube
vertical
short.
YouTube short. So
Oh, what
you're
did you review?
Frankenstein.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I kind of dunk on Mia Goth. I felt bad about it later, but
Mm,
she's not a good actor. Um,
mm.
yeah, remember I told you I wanted to do 1 minute movie reviews?
I knew you were going to do 1 minute reviews of anything.
Yeah, well, it finally happened.
Excellent.
January 11th, 111. I did
Oh,
it.
you just had to wait for the most auspicious date.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
been waiting till, well, I needed to get a new phone. That happened.
Hmm.
Shout out to Amanda. Not the Amanda from the podcast, a different Amanda.
Not
She,
Amanda, please.
no,
Amanda, thank
Amanda,
you.
Amanda,
Oh, nice. Amanda, thank you.
Amanda, thank you. um, yeah, so you know this because you've done this, but like it's horrifying having your face out there for people to
Mm.
look at and scrutinize.
Yeah, especially, well, never mind.
And I get the appeal for Botox now, so I'm gonna get some.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So if my lips look fuller, but yeah, please follow me on YouTube now. I'm gonna try to post 1 minute. I'm probably gonna mainly do movie reviews because that's I don't know, it's just the most fun. I might review sodas here and there, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking back to your review of the I want to say it was a orange Coke.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah, Coke Orange
Coke
discontinued.
orange. Mm. You
But
should have
yeah,
reviewed it better.
what's going on with you? Anything new?
I'm just remembering how awesome this book was.
Yeah,
This tome.
should we jump into it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's hit it.
All right. Shout out to Al.
Al, we
I,
love you.
we love you. I don't
You're
know
why
you,
we do
but
it. You're why we do it.
Al, I literally told Mickey today, whatever Al wants, Al's gonna get on this podcast. So Al,
We got
please.
to. So we're going to try and put a special focus on any injuries that happen in this book. There are many. Al being a physical therapist, I think
Oh,
we want to chime in with what would Al prescribe
Al would have
to this
loved.
victim of a musket shot.
All right, Al, Mickey, Petit Gavroche, Gavroche.
Gavroche, please.
I want to say Gervais, my little
You
homie.
know, there have been tie-ins in this book where characters like turn out to be other characters. For a minute there, I was thinking we were going to find out that Petit Gervais was Gavroche.
I gotta
Um,
believe Petit Gervais is long dead.
maybe, or he's like Javert's sidekick by now,
Yeah,
like trying to he catches wind of the fact that there's an inspector obsessed with prosecuting
yeah.
the man who stole a sou from a country peasant, and he like joins the police academy and becomes Javert's right hand man on the quest to capture Jean Valjean.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna start the timer.
All right, let's go.
Well, in classic Hugo fashion, he launches into Volume 4, which for me is called the Rue Saint Denis. What was yours called?
Um, yeah, it's the no, it's two. It has like two names. Um, it's called it's the only one that's not named after a character. It's called the Idyll, Idyll,
Right.
the Idyll in the Rue Plumet, and the Epic of the Rue Saint Denis.
Mm. We need to see the French on this one because each translation I have does something a little different.
And
And
we keep
really,
saying we're going to get the French book, and we haven't.
I
I think
know
you need to get the French book. You're the one collecting them.
it's on my list. I will buy it. Don't you fret. So yeah, in classic Hugo fashion, he starts off with literally the title of book one is called "A Few Pages of History," and I'm
And he's
having a
like
hard time even remembering. It was about like the royal family and stuff.
yeah. I mean, I think Hugo likes to be just like likes to give us our medicine before our like meal.
Hmm.
He opens the book and he's like, well, I guess I'm just making sure to that if I do make any like haphazard references, they can't say that I didn't fill them in. Like this information isn't all that important for the rest of the drama unfolding. It basically is just explaining Victor Hugo's opinions of, I think it's Louis Philippe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Louis Philippe was the king at the time that this uprising that is at the end of the book
right.
um, is happening. And basically, like, this opening is saying that even though this book is about like characters we love who hate the government, like looking back now 30 years or whatever it was, Louis Philippe was for sure like a good king, which I think was interesting. Like I didn't know anything about this stuff. He was exiled, I guess, to Switzerland. He was from the Orleans family. And so when the Bourbons got out, I think the Orleans went in, or maybe they're connected. I think the Orleans are like a nephew of the Bourbons. It's even though he takes all his time to explain it all, it doesn't still doesn't sink in for me.
Yeah, and I'm always struck by whenever I'm reading something about monarchy. I'm just so predisposed to be anti-monarchy, pro-revolution. Like
Mm-hmm.
so to see Hugo almost be wrestling with the idea, like how is it even possible to have like a benevolent monarch and a monarch that we could say was good? It was really interesting to see him kind of wrestling with that because he didn't dunk on Louis Philippe at all.
No, no, he was just like a huge admirer of him. I guess Louis Philippe was a really really humble guy. He would like turn down any opportunity to be celebrated, that kind of thing.
Yeah, this quote kind of sums up his ambivalence. It's in chapter 3, Louis Philippe. Revolutions have a terrible arm and a happy hand. They strike firmly and choose well. Ellipsis. Nevertheless, let us not boast too loudly. Revolutions also may be deceived, and grave errors have been seen. And I think that is, for me at least, true to life. Like, revolutions always do have two sides of a coin.
Mm-hmm.
And though many start from a place of idealism, pragmatism can more often than not like just take a revolution and distort it or grind it up, or people that take over don't execute the vision of the original revolutionaries in the way that they wanted. Like things get
Right.
distorted. And I love that Hugo is being kind of honest about it, not just like I can't really tell like who's. I think I know what side he's on, but
Mhm.
I just like it. I like how measured he is.
Yeah, no, I think he's like an idealist contained within the rules and limits of human culture and society. The he there's other discussions, like little asides that happen during the uprising, which is at
Mm-hmm.
the end of this book. This tome begins with a romance and ends with an uprising. And in the uprising, he has opportunities to just express what he really thinks about the revolution. I think I found on what it's called. It's page 951 for me. Um, he's just like musing about what civil war could be, and he talks about how like power, even like he talks about how important it is that power exists from within.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's ultimately his real opinion. This is page 950 and 951 in a chapter called Paris, a Bird's Eye View. Oh, no, no,
Mm.
The Extreme Edge. It's chapter 3 of book Marius Enters the Darkness.
Okay.
Yeah, Marius is thinking about joining the uprising. He feels like he has no other choice. And it's just a lot of philosophizing about what's happening at this uprising.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part in there where he talks about how there can be good kings. Can there be good kings?
Right.
Um, like Louis Philippe was no more a tyrant than Louis the 16th. Both were what history is accustomed to term good kings.
Mm.
But principles cannot be fragmented. Truth is the whole, and it does not admit of compromises. This is Marius thinking. He's like
Right.
a young idealist still. Um, but in here, it also talks about uh, um, how even the best of kings is having his power endowed to him by like divine right. And like that would be power from outside, when in fact the people need to have power rise up from inside. And so even if they elect the best, even if we're calling it a king, if it's a monarchy, if it's somehow genetically inherited, then it's we're allowing power to be defined from outside.
Right.
I thought that was a very interesting point.
Well, that was a lot of the heart of the French Revolution, was trying to, um, kind of as a consequence of Enlightenment thinking, materialism, like they didn't want to live under the notion of a divine right anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that there needed to be something to replace that, and that's where we kind of get our systems of government and thinking now, where it's which I just I find it all very very fascinating.
Yeah, it's awesome to see them wrestling with it 150 years ago,
Yeah.
like brilliant authors. And we, as we see today, it's like we're on the approaching the 250th anniversary of what is supposedly the greatest democracy, and it's just like, okay, maybe this isn't as strong as we thought it was.
Mm,
Um, yeah. So like, I don't know. I wish we had a Victor Hugo today read in one of these books.
yeah.
It could be interesting.
Maybe they are, and we'll read it in 10 years. Like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, a thread of tweets unfolded.
Nikki, we made a huge mistake though. We forgot to play America's favorite game show.
Oh, there's still time.
You guys ready? We're gonna pause between book one and book two to play name. You're not gonna say it with me.
That's miserable.
Miserable.
Okay, I got one for you.
All right.
So this is the game where we read a quote from the book, and then the other person has to name the speaker. I have actually three selected for you. Um, the first, they're kind of three flavors, and I think that it's a challenge. I'll start with one that is probably the easiest one.
All right.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Quote: Poor Marius, indeed. That gentleman is a worthless scoundrel without heart or feeling or gratitude, a monster of conceit, a villainous rogue. Name that miserable.
Is that Gio Normand?
Oh yeah. Ding 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 ding.
Oh man.
This is right when this is Marius's grandfather, who's been brooding for the last 6 years about how his grandson actually followed through with his plan of not connecting with him. And he's just sitting there thinking about Marius.
Yeah, dude, I'm uncomfortable with how much I relate to that man.
Oh no.
We'll get into that later, but all right, here's mine. Mickey, this is directed straight at you.
Okay.
Bourgeois, I prefer to smash lanterns, Park Ridge boy.
Oh.
Take back your ferocious beast. You can't bribe me. That has got 5 claws, but it doesn't scratch me.
Oh, that would be my boy Gavroche
That's
in his
right.
first ever interaction with Jean Valjean.
Let's go. One of the key inciting events ending out this amazing tome.
Yeah. Oh my God. We learn all about Gavroche all book long. We've been learning about Jean Valjean since the start of the entire novel. I'm just realizing that Les Mis is sort of like a sitcom where, like, as it goes on, like we've had these established characters, and then they write scenes. They're like, oh, what if like Lisa Simpson like has to do something with Mo? It's like, this is the moment where Vicky was like, hey, I haven't had Jean Valjean meet Gavroche yet.
That's a
What
great
would that
point.
be like?
It's
Yeah.
like that's what I always loved about Seinfeld was like how it would weave together like 3 seemingly disparate plots into one like epic climax.
Yeah.
And here's what I told you about Gavroche on December 30th. Gavroche is my new fave character. I don't care if everyone else dies. He's my new infatuation.
Yeah, he's easily the funniest, most just relatable dude.
And,
Which,
and when he becomes a little dad for a little time.
yeah, yeah. Actually, it's worth interrupting. Name That Miserable to tell you this. This is important podcast material. So, as I have a tendency to do, everyone I talk to tends to start reading Les Miserables. And my friend Susanna, who told me she knew every single lyric to the entire musical, like I had Les Mis with me, and she was like, "Oh, I love that. I read that in high school." And I was like, "Oh, really cool." And I talked to her about some stuff, and she was like, "Oh, I don't really remember that. I don't really remember that." And it turns out, like, she decided to reread it, and so she's been reading it. She got an unabridged copy,
Good.
from the library, I think. And when I saw her next, she was already ahead of me, and I was like, "What? How are you?" She just said like, "Oh, I'm at the part where da 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 da." I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, you just started this like 3 weeks ago. I've been reading this for a year.
Well, partially that's my fault. I'm holding you back.
Maybe, but also it's the fault of the fact that her book is not actually unabridged. And this is consistent with the time where I was, after my book split in half, I went to the library to get myself a different copy. I wanted the Norman Denny copy. I happened to see an unabridged version. I just like looked at it to see how it was different than mine, and it was only 800 pages.
It said unabridged.
It said unabridged, complete and unabridged.
That is much bridged.
Oh, it for sure was. And so I was like looking through the chapter, seeing like it's impossible to look at a table of contents and notice which chapters are missing.
Well,
so I couldn't.
If you get the Barnes and Noble classic edition from, when was this made? Well, I don't know. A while ago. They show you the chapters they cut.
And does it say it's? Oh, I wonder if it's the one. So okay, that's perfect. I'm really happy that you have that. We can do a little test. So I was in the library trying to figure out why this book was so much shorter, and I couldn't see why. And then I was talking to Susanna, and I was like, "How are you this far along? Like that? There's no way that that's unabridged." And she was like, "It is." And I then tried to just pepper in references. I try to pepper in references to details in the book that maybe like weren't included. And eventually I realized, or I mentioned Gavroche living in the elephant. So Russ, you just mentioned that scene where he becomes a dad, and
Mm,
that there's this amazing chapter. That's easily a top three chapter of the entire book for me so far.
yeah.
Is where the boy Gavroche, who we met in the last tome, who we know is Thénardier's son, um, he happens to uh, encounter two other street urchins who were freshly like lost. They had gone back to their house and their mom had been arrested, so they were like on the street. And Gavroche took them under his wing, and he ended up like giving them a place to sleep in his like little hole he found in a giant elephant
Yeah.
sculpture.
So cinematic. Oh
It
my
is
gosh.
amazing. And Gavroche is like cuddled up on his like hay bed with these two little kids, not even knowing that they are his brothers.
Oh man. So good.
And they don't know that he is their brother. Um, he and it's just a wonderful, wonderful scene. And it turns out that that chapter was not in Susanna's book.
You got to follow up with her and see if she has. So, Barnes and Noble Classics. You remember like the heyday of these books when we were in high school. Like Barnes and Noble was kind of taking over the world for the first time, and they would do
Sure.
like these special editions that all kind of had similar.
Yeah. The You Got Mail era of bookstores.
Yes. So this one was made in 2003. It was edited and abridged by Lawrence Porter, and I have a feeling this is for a lot of people the Les Mis that they've read,
Hmm.
and it's 830 pages, just
But
about.
it says abridged on it.
This one does, yeah. And as you go through, it puts in parentheses what the actual chapter number is, so you can kind of track like, okay, so it skips here, it skips here, it skips here.
That's funny.
So like in book two, this is funny. It goes from uh, number one and then skips chapter. It goes to three, and then that's it. So book one or book two, the convict ship Orion, it only includes two chapters,
Mm.
which, as you may recall, is like super long.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's still a huge book though. It's still 800 pages, but what I noticed they skip is a lot of the context, like the historical
Okay.
musings and like his.
Right, but why would you skip Gavroche in the elephant?
I don't
It's
know.
an amazing scene.
I don't know.
And yeah, she sent me a photo of the cover of her book. It says it's the Simon and Schuster enriched classic, complete and unabridged.
That's crazy.
And it definitely omitted that. And I want to know if anyone from Simon and Schuster is out there listening. Tell us why. I mean, that scene does involve a lot of rats. Maybe the person translating was just like, ew, and skipped it. Um, that's the best example. That's the best reason I can think of.
That's crazy. Which one is it? Does the
What?
cover have teal on it?
Yeah, actually, it has like a scene of yeah. It's like the title is printed on teal,
Oh, okay.
and above it is like a is like a kind of revolutionary painting looking
That's
thing.
crazy.
Mhm. Yeah, it's strange. Like, what would who would decide that? Who's leaving this stuff
I'm
on the
just surprised
table?
that you could call something that's abridged unabridged.
Yeah, it's manipulative, and as a result, she's finishing the book before me. That's the worst part.
No, she's not finishing anything. Suzanne,
That's
if you're
true.
listening,
Susanna.
that's what I said. Susanna.
Oh, I thought it was Suzanne.
I I I don't talk good, I'm realizing. One of my resolutions for this podcast is to talk better and faster.
Mm. Wait, no, those are the opposites.
No, because
Talk better and slower.
I talk slow and I mumble.
Oh.
So I need to talk clear and quickly.
Oh, that's good.
Like
Yeah, we need to be able to look at the last episode of Russ Reviews, at your funeral, and then the first episode and be able to hear a clear like development of your broadcaster
yeah.
voice.
You know Kira Knightley?
Yes.
That's who I want to talk like. She's just so precise
Poised.
and there's tempo, bravado, but still elegance.
Mr. Collins.
Mr. Collins.
Um,
Do you remember what Gavroche would call his kids? Oh,
what
brats. In
brats?
my translation, he kept calling them little brats.
In your translation, does Gavroche say, "Well, blow me"?
I don't remember that.
That's what he yells at like rich people.
Wait, what? You later you gotta send me so we can see what mine translates as. Because my
Okay, well, yeah,
translation's from the 1800s. So.
yeah.
All right. That
All
was
right.
named
Well,
that miserable.
no, hey, no. I got another one for you.
You want to do three?
Oh yeah, this is the way it's got to go.
All
I
right.
think this. I think this sort of freewheeling style of summarizing the book is great because we don't need to fill in really the exact chronological narrative for
Yeah.
people who have read it before.
Yeah.
People are listening to this to just be reminded of their wonderful memories of the book, and to maybe hear how delightful it is and think about starting to read the book. And I think like knowing that Marius and Cosette fall in love and how they fall in love isn't all that important for realizing how hilarious Gavroche is. Um,
All right. What's your third?
oh no, I've only done two so far. Or I've only done one so far. This is my second.
Well, our third. Sorry, because I did
Oh
one.
yeah, yes. Okay, this is also from one of my favorite chapters. The quote is very long, but I'll just read one part of it. Um, um, sorry,
Any
I think
minute now.
I cut it off. Yeah. Okay. 2 months ago, that wench was living virtuously in an attic, sewing metal eye holes into corsets, sleeping on a truckle bed, and living happily with a flower pot for company. Now she's a banker's doxy. It seems it happened last night, and when I met her this morning, she was jubilant. And what's so disgusting is that she's just as pretty as ever. Not a sign of high finance on her face. Roses are better or worse than women in this respect, that you can see when the grubs have been at them. There's no morality in this world.
Oh man, that sounds like Eponine.
Oh, no, no, no. This
Is
is a
it a?
man.
It's a man. Okay. Uh. You wouldn't do two Gillenormands. No, it's not him.
No, no, he likes rich people.
Oh, is it oh, what's his name? Enrolas?
Close. He's an associate.
Okay,
It's
tell me.
and Joel Ross's drunken associate who he doesn't let join. Uh, this is the scene where we find the tavern that ends up becoming the HQ of the barricade.
That's right.
And there's this guy who just doesn't shut up and drinks like 4 bottles of wine
Yes, yes, yes.
named Grantaire.
That's right. Doesn't he die?
He's not the one. He's not dead by the end of this. I think he's just passed out.
Okay.
He never joined the fighting. I think he'll maybe come back. But yeah, I loved the way that unfolded. Like it seemed like this book is just so cool in the way that we start learning in detail about something that doesn't seem all that significant,
Hmm.
and we learn about like the shape of it, like how many rooms there are, the women who work there. It's this tavern, and it's like, why do I know so much about this tavern? And it's so that when like the rest of the revolutionaries show up and just barge in, we're like, we're making this our headquarters.
Yeah.
And now we know like what kind of a place it is
Yeah.
because we had this little foray.
All right. Well, Mickey, let's trying to decide where I want to jump to, excuse me. Um Basically what transpires is that we get some background on Eponine, we get some background on where Jean Valjean and Cosette end up, kind of what their life looks like. But I would say like the where this book really starts picking up some steam is Marius and Cosette,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful um, moment where Cosette is. It's creepy at first. She feels like she's seen someone on the property, a shadow, a sound. Uh, she is literally being stalked.
At different times.
Um, and eventually, Marius, who has been making it his life goal to track down Mademoiselle, it's not Monsieur Blanc. What was it? What was Monsieur Blanc was
Fa-
Jean
fa-
Valjean. What was
Fauchelevent, something like that.
Fauchelevent is his fake name, but like his fake name was Blanc. And what did Marius call? It was the Lark.
Oh, Ursule.
Yeah, Ursula. Marius was looking for his beloved Ursula, and
But what's funny is that she was also, we come to find out, she was obsessed with Marius. It was mutual.
yeah, the
And
entire time.
Mickey, that's the most unbelievable element of this story because that never happens. The girl you're
No,
crushing on is never reciprocating that crush, or the guy
absolutely.
you're obsessed with.
You know, you're right. Of all the crazy coincidences that have happened in this book, I think the fact that Cosette had fallen in love with a guy who sat
Was
80 feet away from her every day for 3 months is the least believable.
Hugo, do better. Okay, I'm half joking, but I did love this part. It was so fun to find out that she was also kind of going through the same thing. But then the added layer of like seeing Jean Valjean like have to deal with his daughter kind of falling for another guy and like the paternal jealousy that parents I think go through when their kids like finally meet that special someone. You know, like I dread the day. Do I rue the day? I don't know. I never know how to say that. When August will meet the love of his life, and I know Megan's, she tears up when she thinks about him
Oh,
getting married and stuff. Like,
I, I think we say I will rue the day.
I will rue that day,
Yeah,
but hopefully it's a nice person. But I just loved, like, again, kind of with the sitcom thing. Like, it felt very sitcom-y. Like,
it totally did.
um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we we see into Cosette's mind. We've already seen deep into Marius's mind about how he feels about Cosette. We see deep into Cosette's mind about how she felt about Marius. But then when Jean Valjean, like from Marius's perspective, last tome, they disappear. They stop going there. He has to find them.
mhm,
And during the time that they're disappeared, Cosette kind of falls out of love with him.
yeah,
And Jean Valjean actually had them stop going to the park because he was suspecting that something was up. And then they were apart for long enough that Jean Valjean stopped being worried.
yeah,
Like, oh, I get to continue having my perfect life. I just, as long as Cosette is happy and I have Cosette, I am happy. And it sounds like such a simple thing, but eventually, Cosette only having her grandfather is not going to be enough to make her happy. And
yeah,
I think we're about to be diving deep into that realization. That's my guess for the next tome is Jean
yeah,
Valjean realizing like, wait, I want her to be happy, but I want her all to myself too.
yeah.
Because so he placates himself. He realizes, oh, there was nothing. But then at the end of this tome, he finds a letter in such dramatic fashion that Marius wrote to Cosette, and it destroys his life.
Well, and he also finds a letter that Cosette wrote
Oh,
to to
yes,
Marius in the mirror.
yes. That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of the mirror. He like red rummed us with this.
And somehow that felt more believable to me than Marius and Cassette having a reciprocal crush on each other. Okay,
Yeah.
so in cinema, this is called the Rashomon effect, where the same story is recounted through contradictory testimonies. Like
Mm.
I'm quoting that from AI.
Like,
Sorry.
like weapons.
Yeah, like weapons, or if you've seen Pixar's, they had a series on a baseball team that does that. But I'm realizing now the Rashomon effect, credited to the great Kurosawa, should be called the Les Miserables, Les Mis effect, because looks like Kurosawa is just ripping off Hugo like everyone else after he wrote this great, amazing book. So take that. Um, but yeah, I loved it, and I was like, okay, this book's called The Miserables. They're gonna meet and they're gonna hate each other, and the rest of the book is gonna be about them like hating each other or something.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Wait, why?
Because that makes so much sense. If a book is called that, that's a good guess about what it's about.
Yeah, but I was wrong. They fall madly in love with each other. And Mickey,
Yeah.
I want to ask you about slang real quick.
Oh, was yours was that exported to the back of the book for you?
No.
That was an abridged chapter. That was there's a chapter about the slang of the underground.
Okay.
And it was an appendix for me.
Okay. So let's talk about slang real quick. So, but before that, Eponine helps Marius find Cassette. Marius and Cassette meet. They fall in love. Everything's hunky dory, and they're Marius is about to make a really big moral concession, something he stood against for his whole life in the name of love. But before that, we get a nice little pause for Victor Hugo to talk about slang. And you are I had to Google this, you are a linguophile. You're a lover
Oh,
of language.
I certainly am.
You're a translator. You had a hit YouTube series called Learning to Talk, where
Hmm.
people would figure out how to speak a language on camera.
Hmm.
I arted a hippo.
Hmm.
I have that mug. I look at it daily. Love it.
Oh, that makes me happy.
But yeah, Mickey, I didn't totally know what to make of this chapter. Why did Hugo, here's my question for you. Why did Hugo feel the need to put this here? Did you
Um,
understand that as a linguophile?
yeah, well, my book. So this is part four, book seven,
Yeah.
or tome four, book seven. It's called. The title of it is Argot, Argot for me. Is it
Oh,
slang for you?
for me it's slang, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Argot is the French word for the sort of spoken language of the underground, um,
Oh, cool.
which is also true of slang. Like people who are not educated
Hmm.
in schools tend to speak a different language, basically, even in English, and it's slang language. I'd never known. I didn't know that argot meant slang. I was thinking, what could it mean? What could it mean? I thought it was referring to like uh, a specifically French like subset of language. I think so. So my take on this chapter is that Victor Hugo like was writing characters that spoke in this way
Hmm.
and was acknowledging that he isn't himself a fluent speaker of it and that he respects it. I
Okay.
think he did like a little research paper on it
Okay.
in order to place it in and make sure he knows that his readers know that he thinks this is a legitimate thing.
Okay.
And I admire that. I think like it's true that any language being used to communicate between human beings is every bit as rich
Yeah.
as any other language. I think the human brain fashions the language it uses to like rise to the occasion of expression. And I think that I'm on the same page as Victor Hugo with this one. I love the way he wrote about it. This is like this would be a great blog post along with his trip to not Normandy, his trip to Waterloo.
Oh my gosh.
this
Uh,
is these are Victor Hugo's Substack
trigger
um,
alert.
peppered in. Yeah,
Yeah, because I felt like it felt like he had to justify himself. Like that he knew, it almost like he was preempting his audience,
hmm,
which would have been like literate, higher class people. Like, I wondered if there would have been some pearl clutching of slang being written in a piece of literature.
I
That's
think
how
so.
it felt to me, was like a justification that this slang deserves to be written and helps the characters if it is written. And I
Mm,
was just thinking through like how crazy is that? Like I take that for granted. Like you read all sorts of novels that are just written in all
mm,
sorts of dialects and ways of speaking, and
mm.
if you ever read Faulkner, like good luck with
Right.
that. Like but there was a time where that was not that was frowned upon,
Hmm.
So I thought it was like a cool little historical anecdote too of like I was fascinated that Hugo would even have needed to do this.
Hmm. Yeah. No, totally. I think that's a really good point. I think he just did it before, yeah, other authors before it became popular. Probably. I don't know. There are probably other books around this time that had Argo written, but this chapter makes it seem like he was kind of doing
Yeah.
it for the first time.
How dare Norman Denny? How dare he put that in the back of the book?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it just busts up the rhythm. I mean, it actually, I think it makes sense. You brought it up. It's like, what's up with this weird chapter? It turns out they can put it at the back of the book.
Nah, dude, that ain't right. Hugo wanted it there.
Mhm. You're
Can you
right. And same
say?
with the convent. Same with the convent stuff.
I
That was in
think
the back of the
I
book for
wonder
me.
if Denny like if that was a little overly editorial. Does that make sense?
Maybe
Because I feel
yeah.
like rearranging text gets a little. You're starting to abridge at that point, in my view.
I just don't understand. Like he only put it's like it's just the convent section. So page 1202
Maybe he was.
to
Maybe Denny's Catholic.
1231. Yeah. It's 28 pages.
Yeah.
29
Well,
pages that he like why couldn't that have just stayed and interrupted the flow? Like
yeah.
that's not that much.
You might not even know this, but this podcast is a subtle rivalry between Isabel Hapgood and Norman Denny, and I'm always slyly trying to make my case that the 1887 translation by Isabel Hapgood is the pinnacle of English translations of Les Mis. As you battle with your modernist contemporary slop from Norman Denny
From
in the
what, 1950
70s,
or something? Oh, it's 1970.
76. He was probably on acid and doing mushrooms as he wrote.
I hope so. Oh, he definitely was. Oh, that's a good segue to my favorite chapter of this book.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you
Um,
about that.
it's called um,
Leaves and
the
branches.
Leaves and Branches. It's in book three. This is just, I mean, this is the best case for him being on psychedelics, I would say. Uh, it's just a chapter about the garden where Marius and Cosette meet, and it's a description of nature and how it folds into itself and how everything contains everything else. It is, I think, my favorite chapter of the book so far, or favorite quote.
Come
I'm going to
on,
read it.
let's hear it. This is for me, it's called Follies ac Frondibus.
Okay. Um, Nothing is truly small, as anyone knows who has peered into the secrets of nature. Though philosophy may reach no final conclusion as to original cause or ultimate extent, the contemplative mind is moved to ecstasy by this merging of forces into unity. Everything works upon everything else.
Hmm.
The science of mathematics applies to the clouds. The radiance of starlight nourishes the rose. No thinker will dare to say that the scent of hawthorn is valueless to the constellations. Who can predict the course of a molecule? How do we know that the creation of worlds is not determined by the fall of grains of sand? It is just awesome. The cheese has its worth. The smallest is large and the largest is small. Listen to this. Every bird that flies carries a shred of the infinite in its claws.
Oh my gosh.
The process of birth is the shedding of a meteorite, or the peck of a hatching swallow on the shell of its egg. It is the coming of an earthworm or of Socrates, both equally important. to the scheme of things.
Take
It is
that.
just awesome.
Sorry. Sorry, Socrates.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Where the telescope ends, the microscope begins.
Yeah.
Do you
It's
know
like, I
what
mean,
do you know what
this is trippy. What?
Follies ac frondibus means?
I would assume frond means branch.
It's Latin for with leaves and foliage.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think it's just great.
So
It's just
I
great.
would posit that Hugo probably it was originally a Latin title in his French text, and the great Isabel honored that, unlike Norman. Um, our sweet Marius. Let's transition to him because he does something that made me clutch my pearls. He's like, "Well, I gotta go get that blood money for love."
Yeah, I want help me understand this. Help me understand the way that Marius needed his grandfather's consent to get married.
I don't know. That might get into like some old French law that we're just not familiar with.
It seems awfully important because ultimately, when Marius finds out he does not have his grandfather's consent, he decides he must die. So something's going on here.
I think I took it as he needed his money. Like
Okay.
he didn't want Cassette to be. I mean, have you ever felt this? Like you need to. I felt this pressure of like I needed to be at a certain income level before I felt like I was ready to get married.
Oh, totally. That's not said directly in the book. It's like it's maybe Hugo is kind of beating around the bush with that. Maybe that is all it was, but it felt to me more like it would be illegal or something for
Yeah.
Marius and Cosette to get married.
No, I think the way it makes sense for me is that he needed money,
Mm.
and the only way to get that money was to get the blessing.
But he could also have just lied to his grandfather if he needed the money.
That's not Marius is a man of principle. He would never
But
have
so
done that.
he would rather die than get the very, very easy to get money in a slightly dishonest way.
I think what you're missing the point is that Marius, this principled man, still could not resist the power of love.
Mm.
Cassette, and have you know, you've been in love. I'm guessing, right?
One might say.
Okay, I've been in love, uh, and it does make you do crazy things, you know.
Mm.
And I think I just thought this was such a cool picture of like the lengths you will sometimes go when you are in love and infatuated with someone. And this was something that he chose to make his life so miserable for so long by rejecting this money. And almost like in an instant, in order to be with Cosette, he was like, well, that doesn't really matter. I need my love. Like, and yeah, that it just really kind of resonated with me as a romantic.
But aren't you arguing for why he would go get the money from his grandfather?
Yeah, because he was so madly in love.
I know, but why wasn't he madly in love enough to also just say, "Sure, whatever, grandfather, she's like there's other ways to get the money he wants without letting his grandfather in on it.
Yeah,
If
that
it
part
really
I'm
is
not. That
if it
part I'm not
really is
sure.
just about the money. I think
Yeah,
there's some sort of like legal standing thing that like in order to like his grandfather refused to allow him to get married, and apparently Marius doesn't have the like right in his situation to marry her
I
without it.
think. Yeah, I think it was more uh, less legal, more philosophical. So what Gillenormand revealed to Marius is that he was a philandering
Mhm.
womanizer, and he dishonored Cosette in that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, that moment that I know is why
And I think
ran. Yeah.
Marius could have stayed and deliberated longer and gotten Gillenormand to agree to him getting married. But I think he was just so pissed off that he would even speak about Cosette like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you have insulted my father and now you have insulted my wife.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think Marius could have kept it going, but his principles finally did catch up with him again. So he was able to go this far, but he wasn't able to go that extra 10 feet that Gillenormand was trying to push him. So I think that's where it was like, that was his like money ticket. And since that wasn't going to be feasible, he'd rather be dead than for Cosette to be with him and poor. And maybe he
Yeah,
thought like Cosette's father wouldn't have agreed to it if he was just coming in as
that's a very good point
a
too.
beggar, basically,
Yeah,
like a poor lawyer.
yeah, that is a very good point.
But the thing I wanted to talk to you about was, have you ever loved someone so much that it makes you just be a terrible person to them? Because I was like so
But
confused by Gillenormand. He like he was obsessed with Marius,
yeah,
right? He loved him so much. But when he had this chance, he couldn't help himself but to like spiral into vitriol and hate. And his inner monologue versus his outer dialogue was so different.
yeah, that was a really funny scene.
And it just hit me. And I was like, I feel like this happens to me all the time, where I
Mm.
feel really warmly towards someone, but then it comes out as, uh, I don't know, in my context, it's probably like teasing or making fun of someone. Like
Mm.
the people I really like, I don't show affection to. I just belittle them constantly. Why do I do that, Mickey? You dumb idiot.
I think that's something you should keep thinking about, Russ.
Well, I'm thinking about it right now on the pod.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that hopefully I just hope you don't end up like, Mond, 90 years old with all your teeth but none of your hair.
I mean, I'd love to keep.
Brooding.
If I had to choose between teeth and hair, I'm choosing teeth
Yeah.
all day long.
Brooding
Okay,
about
let's make it
all the
less about
people.
me. Let's make it about Ross, this third person. Why do we do this? Why does this happen sometimes where the way to show affection is through meanness and brusqueness and harshness?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's a fear of actual closeness. I think like,
Check. Yeah.
I mean, what?
Check. Fear of intimacy. Okay.
Yeah, the fact that Mond, I mean, he's had a weird life of like it's like a weird hedonistic life, distancing himself from the I don't know. It's a really deep conversation to be had about like what is the nature of humanity and like what are the calluses we build for ourselves in order to um not feel close with the truth. And
Mm,
I think that there's I think a lot of it has to do with a fear of aging, a fear of death, a fear of separation, and we protect ourselves from confronting that um, by doing things that alienate people.
yeah. Well,
That's my sincere thought.
it's interesting having a 5-year-old now because his feelings are starting to get hurt by me.
Mm.
So I'm having to like learn to not tease him because he's like, that hurts my feelings. And I'm like, well, but that's how I show you that I love you is by ruthlessly mocking you.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it just got me thinking about why I do this, and it's I think it's the power of literature. Like there was this thing on Twitter a couple weeks ago where like people were arguing about if novels are more beneficial than self help books.
Hmm.
And I kind of fall in the novel camp, and I feel
Oh
like this
yeah.
was a good example of like I feel like I do more self inspection and self growth through literature than I do through how to not give an F in 10 different ways.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to hear you say that because I feel the same way. Like the right self-help book or whatever, like technique can hit at the right time, but it's stuff like this where we're hearing from a guy who has done all the work and has poured it into us as like a gift
Yeah.
without telling us he's right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very attractive thing.
Yeah.
We can I think that that's really smart, that
Well,
author did.
Mickey, here on Rust Reviews, let it be said, I do want to try to be nicer and
Mm.
more sincere, but I can't guarantee that I won't.
falter.
Ruthlessly tease either.
I see.
Uh,
Well, maybe tome 5 will do the trick for you.
we'll see. Do you know how it ends because of the musical, right?
I know some things.
Okay. Do you want to talk about war?
Um, not really.
Here's my question: do you like war books? I was like,
No,
oh, this is a war book now. Cool.
no, I don't know. I don't think I do. I think this is okay because we're always checking in with, like, when Gavroche, if a Gavroche was in every war book, I'm sure I would.
Yeah, he really was a saving grace. He made the war part I thought very fun. So
Hmm.
as people were being ruthlessly murdered and killed, and that one guy like just savagely shooting that citizen, like the civilian, was just like very. Um, that was one of my favorite quotes.
Oh, that was crazy.
Enrolas, I think, to Javert, because Javert pops up his silly little head again as a
Hmm.
spy, spying on
The uprising.
what is it? He's like, we're not assassins. I'll find it. Can you talk? What did you think? Oh, here it is. Wait, no, there's not. Talk a little bit. What did you make of the war part?
Well, I just to comment on why Gavroche is the saving grace of this is, here's a quote. There's a funny scene where he's like stealing random stuff that he thinks could be valuable to their efforts, and he comes upon these hilariously described women gossiping in a corner, and one of
Mm.
them yells at him, "You're nothing but somebody's bastard." As to that, said Gavroche, I am profoundly indifferent. Shortly after this, he passed the Hotel La Mognon, to which he addressed a ringing appeal. On the way, lads, on to battle!
And
Then
I
he
loved
was
how desperate he was for a gun.
yeah, that's this. Then he was seized with melancholy, and looking reproachfully at his pistol, he said, I'm ready for action, but you won't act. Because his pistol was, it didn't have a hammer or something.
Right.
God, it was so funny.
But yeah, there was that interesting part. I can't find it, but Javert is talking to one of the leaders of the rebellion, and he's like, "Well, why don't you just kill me?" And he's like, "We're revolutionaries. We're not assassins. Like, we're not going
Yeah.
to kill you." But then it kind of comes to a head where that one guy that's part of the revolutionary side like ruthlessly kills someone,
Yeah.
and in an instant, Enrolas. Am I saying that right?
I have no idea. It seems like a Spanish name.
And
But
he kind of takes justice upon himself and performs an execution,
mhm.
kind of a eye for an eye situation. And to me, that was the most interesting part of the war section was you get a really austere illustration about the stakes with revolution
Mhm.
and justice and due process even because you could argue like that man wasn't offered due process. Did he deserve due process? Probably not. Like everyone saw him shoot
Mhm.
that civilian ruthlessly. But yeah, it just made me think like, man, these are like the things that come within and without of revolution is um, revolution can't be a permanent state. Like you're always going to go from revolution to governance of some sort,
Mhm.
and negotiating those things is so complicated, so hard, and that was just a cool moment of and Rolas becomes like executioner, judge, jury, all in
Mhm.
a heartbeat.
Yeah, and he reflects on it in an interesting way right away. He says, like, I will be judged for this. Like,
Right.
I did not want to do that, but he says, it may be. I have more to say. In executing that man, I bowed to necessity.
Mm.
But the necessity was a monster conceived in the old world, and its name is fatality. By the law of progress, this fatality must give way to fraternity.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a great line. I remember that vividly. Um, but yeah, but it was cool to see Enrolas like kind of juggle his ideals with the pragmatism of war.
Hmm. And there's again incredible cinematic dialogue. He shoots her, or sorry, he shoots the guy. It says the shot rang out. The murderer fell face down on the cobbles, and Enjolras, straightening, gazed sternly and assuredly about him. He thrust aside the body with his foot and said, "Get rid of that."
Hmm.
Like that's a movie right there.
Yeah. Well, and the cinema just keeps going as Marius dun, da, 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 on his suicide mission ends
Yeah,
up saving the day.
with two guns.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Even Hugo's not above a little shoot 'em up, shoot out
Yeah.
to end a scene.
But he really saves the day later when he like threatens to blow up an entire powder keg, and he's like, "I swear I'll do it," and the battalions back off because of that.
All right, so the battle kind of chills out. We're in a quiet season and
Season is one night.
moment in a quiet moment.
That word "season" is just bandied about. Everything's a season these
Sorry,
days.
yeah, that's church language. I
Yeah, I
apologize.
know.
I'm just in a season of singleness.
Keep it out of the podcast.
I do want Les Mis makes it very hard to not talk about religion and politics because that's all this book's about.
Right, it's true.
Okay, so Marius is certain he's gonna die, so he pens a little note and gives it to uh, my hero Gavroche, who then runs the letter. How does he find Jean Valjean?
They know the address.
Okay.
Yeah, Eponine had a letter for
Oh,
Marius.
shout out Eponine. She dies.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, Eponine had a letter for Marius, and he read it, and it
oh,
contained the address.
I think that's the ghost of Eponine.
Uh-oh.
Or maybe it's Petit Gervais.
Monsieur, I think I was a little bit in love with you.
Monsieur, do you have my soup? No, get out of here. Shouldn't you be an old man by now? I still got it. I'm a bit of a younger looking old man now, and my voice never deepened. We're trying to wrap up the podcast. Can you please go? Indubitably. Oh, I don't know how to turn this off. Why am I talking like this? All right, that's an hour.
Eponine.
Guess you guys got to figure out the rest. So, all right, real quick. This part was cool, but it did get me to wonder. So, Gavroche gets this letter to Jean Valjean, but the reason he ran into Jean Valjean was because Jean Valjean in classic JVJ is brooding outside because he discovers a letter that his sweet Cosette wrote to Marius, and basically he realizes that she's also in love with this stalker, much to his chagrin. And he's got a decision to make. But I was wondering, Mickey, is this another case of Deus ex machina? Is the hand of God too heavy in this mirror?
Yeah, especially because he sees it, and then the narrator explains like, oh, she had hastily like moved in and left her ink blotter out.
Yeah,
which is illegible, but which it makes sense that I guess this ink blotting technique is one where you're like printing backwards, and so like she wouldn't worry about someone accidentally reading it when it's written backwards, but then the mirror interaction revealed it. I don't know. I love it.
Okay, I was just gonna say
he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I loved it too. It reminded me of like a Ryan Johnson motif. Like I could see that being a key scene in a Knives Out movie. Like
yeah, totally. Yeah. The best is though when Jean Valjean sees it, and then like realizes, oh wait, no, I was making it up. It wasn't real. Like, of course I didn't randomly see the reflection of the ink blotter that my beloved wrote, and then looks up again and it's still there.
Yeah, so am I right? This is my understanding is Jean Valjean's like, dang it, I gotta go rescue this idiot for my daughter.
Oh yeah, that's for sure what's happening. I can, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Because it
that's gotta
seems
be it.
that everyone listening, we are careening towards the end of this novel. We are on volume 5, which is
Mhm.
titled Jean Valjean. Mickey and I will aim to have it done by March 31st, which will be right around the 1 year anniversary of when we started reading.
Mm.
I started reading in mid-March of last year, so
A year of Les Mis.
yeah, a year of misery. But I don't know. I've never seen the musical. I've never read the book. Um, so my guess is that I wonder if this next section is just going to kind of be over the course of a night, and will we finally have like the first part of Les Mis that just goes through one day?
Wow, interesting.
Because I'm
Yeah.
like, how much more can happen? You know?
Yeah, no, I'm amazed by the fact that this uprising didn't end in this book. Like
Yeah,
I expected it to, because that was the title of it. And we've had kind of a time jump in between every other tome.
yeah,
And this one, however, the tome ends and we're still like in the calm before the storm, it seems.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Susanna, that's her name.
Yeah, Susanna.
Get a fully unabridged book, okay, and try to catch up by.
Yeah, do yourself a favor.
We'll record in April. Um, no, what am I talking about? We have till February 28th. Two
Good.
months.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
we'll record in March.
Awesome.
But any last words, Mickey?
No, this has been a joy. I
I
am
love your
excited
I love your
for
pavement shirt.
the next page. They just announced a show at the Salt Shed.
Oh, cool. Are we
I
going?
have to go. I'm for sure going. Come on up.
You buy me a ticket?
Nope.
Why not?
I don't have that kind of cheddar.
All right. Well, Mickey, thanks as always. This is a delight, and everyone, we would love to hear your thoughts on Tome 4 if you've read it.
Yeah,
And
podcast us back at us in your podcast.
yeah, and if you have any experiences, if you want to self reflect, we got a little deep today, so we'd love to see those comments. If you just want to go full TMI like we like to do in the Russ Reviews podcast, the podcasting authority on Les Miserables in 2026.
I heard that a bunch of other people are starting Les Mis podcasts now.
For real?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a trend. It's like that Roman Empire thing. It's like, oh my God, my husband won't stop doing his Les Mis podcast.
Another trend I won't get credit for. I will die. I will take this to my grave. I started pop collars in 8th grade, but no one ever gives me credit. So. All right, Mickey. As they say in French, bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
Wait, August? Did you want to tell Mickey something? He wants to tell you this real quick. Tell him.
You can play with my Paw Patrol toy only when you come over, but you can't take it.
What? But I promise I'll take care of it.
Okay, he said a deal.
Wait.
Oh, nice.
You won't let me borrow it like you let me borrow
the
your...
same one.
No,
You let me borrow it!
You let him borrow it, remember?
All right. Can
You-
you give that back to me when you come over, America?
Of course, I'm just borrowing it.
We'll do a
missing
trade.
I'm missing it.
Okay.
Trade with what?
You'll give him another one.
All
right.
I'll let you have another one to borrow again.
Okay, go have fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so generous and sweet.
And goodbye.
He reminds me a little bit of Gavroche.
Ah, Petit Gavroche.
He has the instinct to share the wealth he has.
A man of the proletariat, my son, Auguste.